Beware, you're in for a scare.
Near my house, there's an old maintenance hatch which led down into a sewer beneath the town, which has since been sealed over with cement because of reports of people going missing when falling down the open hatch. We heard that engineers working down there had reported strange noises coming from down in the depths of the old drainage system. The locals rumored that there had been once a massive grave dating back to the ancient plague. This had been thought as cleared out of the 18th century, so it could have been underground tunnels, but in the 60s, the government had decided that it be used as a sewer for a rather large town above. My friends Grant, Sarah, Tim, George, Paul, and I had a fantastic idea of breaking the seal with the sledgehammer that we had borrowed from someone's shed as we peered down into the ancient catacomb. The blackness was infinite, so profound it had made the darkness of the hole so chilling that I could hardly blame Tim and George, who were our youngest friends, for saying they were experiencing extreme nausea. A fancy way of saying they were scared clueless, like the rest of us. We didn't admit it though. At least they had sense to go home, unlike the rest of our gang, whose stupidity outweighed our usual good senses. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Before we descended into the darkness below, I almost changed my mind. I just wish I had gone home. That kind of thinking was late, for we were already clambering down the ladder. Once in the first place of the tunnels, we realized, all too late, that the only source of light we had with us was a phone and a crappy little flashlight. Once we hit the bottom of the crooked, rusty ladder, we recognized the smell of death. I choked for a second or two. We had snickered and joked about the smell, saying that it was grand. We moved forward in our adventure, although none of us fools were too sure of exactly where we were going. Well, we joked about the smell and saying that it was grand. It was really funny, but for a split second, when it all went quiet and we heard it, there was a scratching sound behind us. We turned our heads very slowly as the flashlight flickered. We could see the disturbed, mangled corpse of a man in a stained dark red jumper and ripped trousers. This scratching sound on closer inspection was several rats devouring the corpse. Against much negative words coming from everyone to go with the idiotic quest of adventure, but Grant, being the big macho man he was, tried to prove himself to everyone, arguing that he wanted very much to carry on and get to the next hatch on the other side of the passageway. Sarah and I knew that there was no hatch on the other side of this tunnel. We had seen the old maintenance map near the entrance showing that this tunnel just curved round and deeper into the sewer, but we still pressed on. Due to Grant, for some reason, we could hear the scratching from behind us, even though we were more than 50 feet from the corpse. After more than 70 feet, we could still hear it 80 feet, not wanting to turn around. That feeling of fear of if you turn around and your worst fear could be right behind you. That fear was enough to keep me from turning around. Just blame it on the curved walls in the sewer that seemed to be bouncing the sound further than it was meant to. More than about 150 feet, I could not put it off anymore. I sort of turned around to see what was going on. When I focused the flickering flashlight on what I thought would be a source of sound, it stopped, but I found that there was another corpse halfway out of the trench where the undisturbed waste lies. But the thing that made me stumble, the thing that took my breath for a second time, was the thing staring right at me. There was no way that I wouldn't have seen it when I passed there the first time. It must have floated up to the top, but that doesn't explain how it could have gotten up to the side of the trench. On closer examination, I had noticed that it still had most of its stuff, which weird for a place like this. For flesh to still be on a corpse more than a month. Maybe as one of the engineers, I thought, what if somebody had killed them and left them there? This thought quickly escaped my mind for some reason. That is when my friends began to shout after me. I told them that what I had seen after finding out about other corpses, we should have gone to the police. But because we were either too stupid or the pressure from Grant was too high because he had them to push us in the sludge if we didn't carry on. Grant most likely wanted to impress Sarah, which I couldn't blame him for trying. He pressed on. We couldn't leave him to go by himself, so we followed him. Upon recollection, probably should have pushed the fact that we had found 2 bodies that we should have believed. But if the person that killed him was still... What if the person that killed him was still here? I don't know. I didn't know that soon, but I would receive the answer to my question even if I had voiced it or not. Again, I had heard the same scratching sound from behind us. I told the guys to stop and quickly spun around. There, right in front of me, was a corpse, still moving, scratching its way toward me less than 15 feet away, where its eyes were supposed to be. Just 2 deep craters staring back at me. I use the word "it" because it had no lower body, just blackened tail sliding along with it. It opened its disgusting mouth to reveal several rotten, dark yellow-colored teeth. It screamed a sound so unholy, so tortured, that a cold chill went through my entire body. As it did, the guys quickly stopped their conversation, turned to look at me. I yelled at them to run and not to stop running until they find the exit hatch. Scratch, thump, scratch, thump, scratch, thump. It was picking up speed. It was quick, too quick. For what I had seen previously, I thought, what if there were more of these things? I could already hear it breathing behind me. As we were running, I knocked into Paul. He tripped and fell to the trench. Me and Grant tried to get to him, but it was too late. The creature was on him, tearing his flesh and gnawing on his throat with its disgusting teeth. There were more than just one. Several of these things were still had the lower parts of their bodies. He was trying to scream, but instead he just gargled as he suffocated in the mixture of blood and feces, and all we could do was run. I ran so fast, and for what felt like hours, until I finally stopped to take a breath. I had realized that there were no heavy cracks of feet on concrete, no heavy breathing from behind. I must have taken a wrong turn somewhere. The only sound was the distant screaming of the corpses that were a few seconds later. A scream off of the gloom ahead. I was alone. I am all alone with my crappy little phone for light. That's all I had now, and after dropping the flashlight, I tried to help get Paul out the slope. Being underground, I had no reception, being all alone and my entire arm stinking of feces. I slid against the curve while it sat down. I waited for about half an hour. I could tell because I had my phone. I heard someone crying down in the tunnel. I think it was a girl's cry. I called out for Sarah, but all I got in reply was silence. I got up and shouted down the tunnel for her again, but then I heard them scream. I recognized the scream when I met the corpse and its friends. It responded by 3 other screeches. My heart sank in my chest and my hair stood on the edge. I couldn't move, frozen in fear. I looked down at my phone, I flipped it open, and I used the backlight. Though it was very dull, I couldn't see the feet in front of me. In front of me, just a few feet, I saw a withered, bloody hand, and one of the creatures that had it most likely had killed at least 2 of my best friends. I turned and ran. There was no way of escape. I couldn't see anything. But as I turned one corner, there was more than the other 2 or 4 of these things. There was no way of describing just how repulsive they were. Though at the same time, there was a veil of pity surrounding these creatures, as they had died centuries ago building in this dark and endless tunnel, and it would only end up being their graves. They could not rest. Although they were staring at me with those deep, empty sockets, the backlight of my phone turned off. I panicked and fell over. As soon as the light went on, one of them jumped toward me. I heard behind me as I ran for my life, scratch thump, and the echoing sound of bare feet hitting the ground. I ran and ran, but the scraping of the nails against and the thudding of the bare feet terrified me. As they shadowed me, my phone flickered and I tripped on something. I hit the ground, shattering my knee. I could see the exit hatch just 100 yards in front of me. The light of it was peering through the gates of the iron manhole. The petrifying scratch thump and the thundering of bare feet on the concrete behind me was deafening. I was petrified. You know what they say, right before you die, all of your memories will flash before your eyes? It doesn't. I dropped my phone. Behind me, I could hear the scratching of nails and the ever-slowing beating of my heart. The slapping of feet on cold concrete. I searched for my phone and felt something hard. My phone. I found it. My heart skipped a beat. I felt a stiff breathing on my neck. The battery died. So did I.